Hello, it is Foundation Friday, September 6, 2019. Steve Sipress here at a local community event known as the Food Truck Friday. So you can see behind me a whole bunch of food trucks here. Now, gone are the days when I was a kid. When I was in college, I worked my way through college and law school doing just about every job there was. And I remember coming out of the factory or the office or whatever at lunchtime, and the food truck would roll up and we'd grab a sandwich and a drink and a cookie or something, give them a few bucks. Food trucks are, this is not your grandma's food trucks these days. This is a big business. These are actual rolling restaurants and kitchens. I mean, those food trucks I was talking about, all the food was already prepared. In fact, they didn't even prepare it. It was just a bunch of sandwiches wrapped in cellophane and you know, bags of chips and whatever. This is their actually, I mean, there's a pizza food truck. They're cooking a pizza. And the barbecue food truck, and you can see the kettle corn. They're making the popcorn, and maybe you can't see it if I can. I know last year when we came to this thing, they had the lobster food truck from the Shark Tank show. I think it was called Cousin's Maine Lobster. That was the most popular one. It had the biggest line. Everyone loved it. They did have the as seen on Shark Tank signage and all that. So let me give you a little idea here about food trucks as a business. I've helped a bunch of people do these. People that have dreamed about having a restaurant, a lot of times you can start out on a smaller scale by having a food truck. Got a football coming on my head, kind of cool. And so, did you know the food truck business is now a billion, with a B, billion-dollar industry? And according to the latest figures from the industry, maybe I should move so the football doesn't keep being thrown at my head, is the average food truck grosses around $300,000 a year. So it's a decent little startup business to have just one. And then, of course, if you're truly an entrepreneur, you want to have a fleet of them. As soon as you got proof of concept that your food and your thing is working, people want to be on, we're on Facebook Live. There you go. Say hello to the world. What is up, Gene? I didn't even know I know these people. I thought they're just like razzing my video. Right. What's up, Jeff? How are you?
We're photobombing you.
Did you eat yet?
We're going to photobomb your video.
All right, well, I got to finish my video. Bomb away. I'm going to do it like this now.
Good job.
See, so that's what this thing is all about, is going and seeing the neighbors and hanging out and kind of like being in an outdoor food court. And the kids love it. Now they're playing some kind of tug of war here on the football field. And so it's a fun affair here, and I had to record this. I waited for the live band to take a break because their music was way too loud. And I got to get this in before it gets dark. This will go on for a few hours because you wouldn't be able to see me. But there's a few carts that are just for dessert. Like I see this one over here with delicious desserts, it says on it. And then there's all kinds of different food. So, food carts. If they average grossing about $300,000 and you can get about 6 or 8 on the road, you got a nice little $2 million business there. And you can get started in this business for a lot less trouble and less expense than, I was going to say less paperwork, but there's still a lot of legal trouble and nonsense you got to go through with permits and all. Than a regular restaurant, but you're not tied to a single location. So if something happens in the area, like a competitor, similar restaurant moves in nearby and starts taking your business, or there's some kind of construction underway on the whole block for 2 years and you lose all your foot traffic, you know, with a food truck, you can find the spot. It reminds me a little bit about one of my high school jobs, being a vendor in Madison Square Garden. There was hundreds of people I was employed with that worked the counters. So they stood there at whatever counter. People lined up and came in and bought their hot dogs and sodas and whatever. That's more like the stationary restaurant, and we were more like the food truck. We could roam around the stands and go anywhere we want. So if you wanted to work in the upper deck, go ahead. You wanted to work down low, go ahead. You wanted to work where there's a big crowd, small crowd, steep stairs, no stairs. Same with the food truck. You can carve out your little niche, find a good spot. And then once in a while you want to do things like this and come to a fair or an event where I just, my slight perusal here, I note that they were careful to not duplicate. You know, there's one burrito cart, and there's one pizza cart, and there's one barbecue cart. So if I had one of those, I wouldn't be too happy that there were 2 or 3 others at the same time. And I'm giving a whole commentary.
Yes, but you don't have this.
And look
here.
at this. This is the waffle.
Yes.
So that's waffles, bananas, and
Stacey,
strawberries,
yes.
and what?
Yeah, this is their special.
And then it has your name on it.
Yes, it does. See?
So this is a personalized waffle treat right here for Nancy.
Woohoo!
Very exciting.
Okay.
Enjoy. So, clearly, I'm going to continue to get interrupted here no matter where I go. And there's my beautiful wife, Michelle. And there's some more neighbors. So I'm going to end this video by letting you know that you can start a food truck up relatively easier and cheaper than a restaurant, but it's still not that easy or cheap. And you ought to get some advice to do it. If you want advice from me, as always, you head over to helpfromsteve.com and I'll help you out. Otherwise, just understand you're going to need things like permits, and since you are mobile, there are all different permits for towns, counties, states, you know, health. You're going to need insurance depending on where you are and what you got to do. More insurance than just a restaurant. You don't just need slip and fall and food poisoning type of things. You also need, in case your entire restaurant gets in a car accident. Who knows? Plus you need the car itself, and you can have one of these outrageously complex vehicles. You can start with a bare bones and add to it later. And then of course you've got all the marketing on the side. Now here's a bonus tip. If you have a food cart or you're looking to start one up, remember this one. You can defray some of the costs. You can bring in some extra cash besides just selling whatever food you're selling. You can sell space on your food cart, just like NASCAR race cars sell on their car. People will sponsor your food truck. And I'm looking around to see if any of the ones here are smart enough to do that. A lot of times you can get some co-op dollars. We have more people who want to be on the video. There you go. It's always interesting to me when I do these in a crowd and people think that they're on the video when they're in front of me. They don't realize it's the selfie kind of thing going on. Anyway. Oh, and then they're walking in front of me. They don't want to be on the video, so they cross behind me, and then they're on the video. But anyway, I digress. So I'm looking to see, sometimes you can sort of get co-op dollars, like one of your suppliers. You can get them to give you a little bit of money, and you'll put their name brand on your cart. Like Pepsi or Coca-Cola or whatever type of food supplier you have. You can get complimentary businesses. You can get businesses like sponsoring any business that don't compete with you, but they complement you. They have the same ideal target the same target market that they want to get to. So if you tell them I'm in a busy downtown of a big metropolitan city and they want to get to those folks, they might want to have the name of their business and their irresistible offer if they're smart enough to have one. About 98% of businesses not smart enough to have one, so they'll just put their logo on it. But even though that's silly, they'll pay you for that. And then their logo is rolling around town. So that's the bonus tip. Don't forget about defraying some of your costs, getting some extra cash rolling in, whether you sell something or not, by having someone pay to get some of the real estate on the side of your truck. And I'm not seeing that here, but as soon as, of course, I end the video and start looking in detail, I'm sure I'll see it. So just take my word for it. That's something you can do, whether or not anyone here is doing it. And that'll do it for Foundation Friday. I'm going to now eat and have some fun. And I hope you are doing the same wherever you are. Thanks for being here today. I'll be back tomorrow on Social Media Saturday. I'll share some tips, at least one, to help you make money via social media. Just was talking to one of my clients today, who is doing just that in an interesting and fun and big money way. And I'll be back here tomorrow to give you a tip about social media on Social Media Set. Over now for tonight.